introduce you to something you might not know, which is, you can see that Sierra. This is Sierra, but there's also another Sierra. She lives in Orland, and she's furry, she's gray, and brown. And, if you get close enough to her, you can brush her. And she brays, and she's a donkey. And I don't think it's, I share that because I don't think it's coincidental that her name was Sierra. Sierra got a big kick out of that. But it's kind of it's a funny way that the universe works. And I think that Sierra is a great example of a humor that exists, which I just really want to point out to you all. Humor is not, particularly in the 5th, 6th years, it seems that humor becomes random, becomes a code word for things that are funny. It's not random things that are funny. What's funny, but what's humor is something that's comic or absurd, or a great word for geometry lovers, incongruous. So if something just like a square peg doesn't fit into a circle hole, I think Sierra gets joy out of that. And I don't mean that that's not a criticism whatsoever. It's a humor that I think she has as a gift, and she's able to call on that throughout my 3 years that I've known Sierra. And I wanted to share with you all and with Sierra that through the past 3 years I've chosen to laugh with Sierra. You can do lots of things with people around you. You can make lots of choices, but I've chosen to laugh because she's taught me some different perspectives on things. And I just wanted to honor that in her graduation speech. I'm a fish. You know, I wrote in your yearbook, I'm a fish. In Upper Elementary, you might remember we had a play. I think it's called Sarah's Story, I believe. Sarah? No. It was called Sarah's Story, I believe, in a D, and Sierra wasn't in the play, or at least it looked like it. There was a huge sea of blue balloons, and there was this ocean of balloons, and this play was going on and continued to. All of a sudden, you saw Sierra flail about underneath the balloons, and she went, "I'm a fish." For the life of, like, to this day, I filmed it and I've watched it probably 10 times, and I don't have any clue what that's about. But the beautiful part of that is that story and many other things, particularly 6 years, because we were experiencing for 3 years. You carry a lot of stories, with you after 3 years. Those stories, including the I'm a fish story, made it home, and so I told them to my son. So my son knows Sierra as the I'm a fish person. But I just really love her sense of humor. But it also poses a threat for Montessorians, because we like order. So it's maybe not a threat, a challenge.
Challenge, thank you.
Example might be when we do multiplication. For instance, I remember this year, I think it was in 4th year, we were doing double-digit multiplication, and units are green, and tens are blue, and reds are hundreds, and everything has an order and everything has a place. And so Sierra wanted to work on a whiteboard, and I made sure we had the colors green, blue, and red, ready to go for markers. And I come back, and you figured out other colors to use. It was by no means what I was wanting you to do, color-wise, but you were working on it. I think it was with Maya. And it was just huge board build of a math problem. And you were having so much fun. And it didn't match my paradigm of correct colors, but I didn't say anything, because it's not my place to do that at that time. But that is challenging for me. She's also known to build perfect scale models of penguins and pianos and all sorts of work that she rarely shares, and I hope someday maybe you will share. And she also likes to scare people when she pretends to be an old lady. Another thing that I would like to acknowledge today is Sierra's love of creatures. I've talked a lot about humor, but Sierra's shown for a long time a love of all creatures, including my son, who lives with smaller children. But he's an animal. But on our trips, she's the one who finds millipedes and salamanders, and really has an eye for the living world. So I just really appreciate that, and I want to acknowledge you, and I would like to acknowledge you with the certificate of humor and love of creatures.